teacher in books, and I'm here today with another special book. Today I'm going to read Mr. Shipman's Kindergarten Chronicles, December Celebrations by Dr. Terrance Shipman, illustrated by Milan Ristic. Forward. God is amazing. It has been 5 years since December Celebrations was published. It all started with reflecting over the 11 great years of teaching kindergarten. I have come in contact with so many of my former students and parents over the years. Many of them remember and talk about December holidays in my classroom. Yes, we really did go to the tree farm several times to bring back a tree for the classroom. I am very thankful to all of you who have read this book. So many people have told me how they read it every year for the holidays. It touches a warm spot in my heart. A special thank you to my wife and children, extended family, Milan Ristic, the world's best illustrator, friends, parents, and my students, Team Shipman. There would be no Mr. Shipman's Kindergarten Chronicles without you all's love and support. Sincerely, Dr. Terrance Shipman. And his dedication, and he has quite a few dedications. I am blessed to have 3 grandmothers. This book is dedicated to my dad's mother, Nettie W. Rogers. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands, I sing for joy, Psalm 92:4. This book is dedicated to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. There are several people who I must give thanks to, people who helped me, guided me, motivated me, and loved me through the development of this book and through life. Dwayne burst into the kitchen waving the letter Mr. Shipman had given him. He was in kindergarten at Laster Elementary School. He was bubbling with excitement. His older sister, Benecia, and his mother watched as he raced toward them, pushing the paper to his mom, smiling brightly. His sister, Benecia, was 13. She laughed as he scrambled over to their mom. "Hey, Dwayne, how was school today?" she asked. Dwayne rattled on that school had been great as he waved the paper to his mom. "We got this letter from Mr. Shipman today. He asked us to give it to our parents." Dwayne's mother looked up and took the paper. "Wow, it's that time of year," she said. Benecia leaned in and looked over her mom's shoulder. At the top of the page in big bold letters was the December holidays. "I love December holidays in Mr. Shipman's class," Benecia clapped. Dwayne looked up at her, tilting his head with a sneaky grin. "You could still remember being in his class?" "I'm not that old, little boy," Benecia swatted at him and missed. "I remember Mr. Shipman taking stuff down in the classroom right before Thanksgiving. Everybody in the class was watching him, and Shuri asked Mr. Shipman, 'Why are you taking down all the posters and moving furniture?'" Why do you think he's doing all of that? Mr. Shipman looked down at us, smiled, and exclaimed, "It's time to prepare for the December holidays." Peyton squealed with excitement, jumping out of his seat. "What's going to happen? What are we going to do, Mr. Shipman? What are we going to do?" Mr. Shipman laughed out loud and gave Hayden the sit-down look and teased, "You have to wait and see." Dwayne, with the curiosity of a cat, sat next to Benecia in the kitchen at the kitchen table. He wanted to hear more. She told him all about the December holidays and Mr. Shipman's class. The next day, when we went to school, Mr. Shipman took a picture of each one of us. When we walked into the room, it was decorated for the holidays. So that's probably why he was taking all of that old stuff down. There were lights all over the room, giant Christmas decorations, a menorah, and a kinara. Music was playing, Christmas music. It was my favorite during December. We listened to holiday music all day, every day. As we walked around the room, excitement filled the air, but something was missing. Suddenly, Maisie asked, "Mr. Shipman, where is the Christmas tree?" So, of course, that must have been what was missing. Mr. Shipman was standing at his desk. He looked at us and said, "We are taking a field trip to the tree farm to get one." Everyone was happy. We all cheered with joy. Dwayne looked up and gasped. "You went on a real field trip?" "Oh boy, yes," Benicia exclaimed as her mother nodded. "And it was great. We rode on a bus to a tree farm. At the tree farm, there was so much to do. We went on a hayride, drank hot chocolate, and ate candy canes. Mr. Shipman cut down our own Christmas tree. The next day, we all brought in decorations because Mr. Shipman said, 'I want our tree to represent us all.'" Joseph yelled with delight, "It's a Team Shipman tree!" Dwayne nodded his head, holding his face in his hands. He listened to his sister and became more excited than ever about going to school the next day. Continuing to talk about the Christmas celebration with a smile, Benicia said, "Every day we read Christmas holiday books. There was a special bookshelf for these books. Also, we did a lot of art projects. I loved all the art projects. We made holidays chains, Christmas cards, reindeer, Santa Clauses, and stockings using cotton balls. We even made a wreath out of our handprints." Dwayne looked at his hands. He tried to figure how a wreath could be made from his handprints. Benicia laughed at him and continued. "We learned about Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday that is called Festival of Lights, and made menorahs and put them outside the classroom. The next day, we went over Kwanzaa, a holiday that honors African heritage and the African American culture. We made menorahs and listened to African music." In his mind, Dwayne saw his sister doing an African dance for Kwanzaa. "I remember when the big day came," Benicia whispered. "There was more?" Dwayne asked, eyes open wide. Benicia nodded and kept telling him the story of the December holidays in Mr. Shipman's class. "We pulled names out of Santa's hat to exchange gifts with someone else in the class. I remember Leandra pulled William and David pulled Clifford. Autumn giggled when she got her best friend, Serafina." Then Summer began to cry because no one pulled her name. Mr. Shipman told her, "I got you, little girl." He hugged her and she stopped crying. As she sat listening, Dwayne's mother smiled. She even remembered the December holidays in Mr. Shipman's room. She said, "The parents brought in gifts and all types of food. The celebrations were great," she added. Friday was the last day before the break, Benicia recalled. It was the day we all had been waiting for. There was a joyful feeling in the air. The classroom felt really alive that day. Benicia went on telling Dwayne about Tiffany and how beautiful her dress and shoes were that day, and how Mr. Shipman had a Christmas tie and Christmas socks too. "We watched a movie in the morning until lunchtime," she said, "but no one really ate anything at lunch because we all wanted to eat the food in the classroom." Benicia's mom joined in again. Caught up in the story, parents came to the class and we moved the desk around to form tables. Cameron's mom was making hot dogs in the back of the room. Even Mr. Shipman's mom brought food and cakes. Dwayne's mouth fell over. "Mr. Shipman's mom came too?" His mother nodded. Benicia kept talking. Mr. Shipman said a blessing and then the eating began. We had chips, salad, soda, punch, dips, candy, and Mr. Shipman's mom's strawberry cake. We were having so much fun that Mr. Shipman got a call from the office. He left out the room with a large black bag. Tatiana tried to go with Mr. Shipman. I want to come with you, she chuckled. No, you stay here. I'll be back, answered Mr. Shipman. Everyone started dancing and singing. Then there was a knock at the door. Jamarcus opened the door, and there was Santa Claus. Well, Mr. Shipman dressed as Santa. The room erupted with cheers. He gave each child 2 gifts. The special gift was the ornament he made for us with our pictures. I finally found out why he'd taken them. I bet he'll take our pictures too, Dwayne shouted, full of happiness. Valencia smiled and continued. Mr. Shipman took us to classes around the school, giving out candy and saying Merry Christmas as parents cleaned the room. Mr. Shipman opened his gifts. He got peanuts, coffee, and gum, his favorites. He smiled and laughed out loud. Mr. Shipman gave the Christmas tree to Alicia's family. They were overjoyed. We all said goodbye to Mr. Shipman as the bell rang. Valencia smiled and tilted her head like she really was having a good time remembering. I ran back and hugged him. Mr. Shipman said, Merry Christmas, Valencia, and Happy New Year. That's how I spent the December holidays in Mr. Shipman's class. Dwayne cheered. My December holidays will be better in Mr. Shipman's class. Yes, it will, little brother. Yes, it will. And it says Celebration 5th Anniversary, King Shipman. And he has quite a few pictures in the back of the book. And I spy one very familiar looking picture. See if you can spot it. Did you see Black Teacher in Books logo? Mr. Shipman's Kindergarten Chronicles, available at Target, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Audible, Walmart.com, and Apple Music. Happy reading.